Cowboys week is here, and I don't care what your record is. If you don't get pumped up for the opportunity to beat the Cowboys, you are watching the wrong channel. We're going to dive into the latest news and rumors surrounding the Giants. First, though, Brian Daboll has named a starting quarterback for this Sunday's game. We'll break that down. Also, could Azeez Ojulari be returning to this defense and try to beef up that pass rush unit? Potentially coming off IR. We'll talk about that. Also, Evan Neal, we have an injury update around him. Sounds like he may not play against the Dallas Cowboys. And then we're going to dive into the full injury report for the Giants, as well as the injury report for the Dallas Cowboys. But first, I got to make sure all of you are subscribed to the channel. We are in a subscriber battle against the Dallas Cowboys Report, another channel here at Chat Sports. And Tom Downey, who hosts that channel, he's been talking smack all week. He said he's going to kick our butts in the sub battle, but he also had to say this about the New York Giants.
Marshall, the Giants are terrible and you know it. You cannot trot out Tommy DeVito for 8 more games. Who cares that he went to Don Bosco Prep or that he's from New Jersey? He's going to own his own Italian sub shop in 3 years. He sucks. He's legitimately the worst quarterback in the National Football League. He's awful. The fact that John Mara is making you watch this should make you not want to watch the game at all or be a fan. You shouldn't want to watch the Giants. Y'all are a joke.
And if you are already subscribed to the channel, let's just get an F Tom down in the comment section. I can't believe he tried to mock me like that. Tommy DeVito, though, has been named the starting quarterback for this Sunday's game against the Dallas Cowboys. It is going to be his first start in the National Football League. It'll be the third game he played in, as he did relieve Tyrod Taylor against the Jets and then Daniel Jones last week. But it's going to be a big moment for Tommy. Look, he grew up a Giants fan, grew up in New Jersey, went to Don Bosco Prep. We all know about that. And I know he's going to be excited about this game. Look, he's been, I would say, for what the circumstances are and for what he's had to deal with, he's actually been all right-ish. Look, he's completed 17 of his 27 passes, 174 passing yards, 10.2 yards per completion, 6.4 yards per attempt. I'd like to see him push the ball a little bit more down the field, but at the end of the day, we know it's a makeshift offense. 1 touchdown pass to Wan'Dale Robinson. Also ran in a touchdown against the New York Jets. Had those 2 interceptions. Only one of those was really his fault. The other one bounced off the hands of Darius Slayton. I know I've said some things about Tommy DeVito, and I already tried to apologize, and I'll apologize again to Tommy. I didn't really mean any of the things I said. I was mad, frustrated, upset fan, and I was really just talking to John Mara. So from now on, I am going to root for Tommy DeVito, because when you think about the story, it's pretty damn cool. Grew up in the area. He's a high school football legend there. Look, grew up a Giants fan, and now he has the opportunity as a rookie UDFA to be starting against the Dallas Cowboys. That's pretty damn cool if you ask me. So I'm going to be rooting for Tommy DeVito. Let's get the 15s in the chat. I'm trying to bring some positivity to this football team. Let's get the 15s in the chat, and let's support Touchdown Tommy. With Tommy starting the game, the Giants are going to have Matt Barkley as his backup quarterback. They actually, earlier today, signed Matt Barkley to their active roster. You might say, Marshall, didn't the Giants already sign him? Yes, they already signed him to the practice squad, but now he is going to be a part of the active roster. So now you have 2 QBs on the 53 with DeVito and Matt Barkley, who hasn't played in a football game since January 3rd of 2021. It has almost been 3 years since Matt Barkley played in a football game, and I don't expect him to play in this week's game unless there is an injury to Tommy DeVito. Look, he's not very good. Giants are really struggling at that quarterback spot right now. 7 starts in his career, completed less than 59% of his passes, and he has 11 touchdowns to 22 interceptions. Look, the Giants are in a bad spot. I don't need to dwell on it. I don't need to say it. Everybody knows what the situation is. They know what the record is, and they know that they have the worst quarterback room in the NFL right now. But at the end of the day, what are the Giants going to do about it? Will they continue to roll with Tommy DeVito as the starter? Let the UDFA play and see if there's anything there. Maybe they hit on a guy in undrafted free agency. Or do they lean on the vet that could probably manage the game a little bit more and maybe in their eyes, maybe get them closer to winning a couple of games that they just trust? I don't know. I'll let you decide, though. Who do you think starts more games for the Giants this season? By the end of the year, who is going to have started more games? Both are at 0 right now. DeVito's going to get his first one this week against Dallas. type TD, or MB for the guy you think starts more games by season's end. Coming up next, we're going to break down a report coming from Jordan Renan of ESPN. Azeez Ojulari has not played for the Giants in 4 weeks, and it sounds like he could be coming back to potentially get some pressure on Dak Prescott this Sunday. We'll break down that report, but first, I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor of today's video, Prize Picks. If you enjoy playing fantasy sports and you want to play daily fantasy sports, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks is going to give you a $100 deposit match when you sign up and put $100 into your account. So when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, put $100 into your account, Prize Picks will give you $100 for free. All you do, you create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on the projected stat line that Prize Picks offers. I'm rolling with a 3-player lineup for this Sunday's game. I think the Giants defense is going to show up. Look, we saw Xavier McKinney call out the coaching staff this week. There was supposedly a meeting about that. I think they have a good week this week. I'm going to go with less passing yards for Dak Prescott. But I also think Lamar Jackson is going to score at least 2 touchdowns. I think Jonathan Taylor has more than half a touchdown. I think he gets in the end zone. You can roll with my picks, fade my picks, or make picks of your own. Just play Prize Picks by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS, $100 deposit match. The best way to play daily fantasy sports. All that info is in the comments and description of today's show. Alrighty, it sounds like Azeez Ojulari could be activated off the injured reserve as soon as Wednesday afternoon. And that's kind of when we're filming this video. Have not heard it yet, but it sounds like it could be happening. Jordan Renan of ESPN said positive injury news. Outside linebacker Azeez Ojulari, who's missed a couple of games with an ankle injury, will have his window to return from IR opened on Wednesday. Returning versus the Cowboys is clearly on the table. Brian Daboll said hopefully he'll be ready to go this week. And if you can get Azeez Ojulari back, have Kayvon Thibodeau, who's been really good lately, didn't have much of an impact last week, but that's the nature of the business at that pass rusher position. But if you can get Azeez, Kayvon, you still have Dexter Lawrence in the middle. This Cowboys offensive line is not what it once was, and you should be able to get at least a little bit of pressure on Dak Prescott. Azeez Ojulari is a great player. Thing is, he's got to be more available. Sometimes the best ability is availability, and he just has not been that throughout his career. He's missed 27 games in his NFL career. So look, he's played in the NFL for 3 years. He's missed 27 games. At the end of the day, the production is there, but it's a very limited sample size. When you talk about the career stats for a guy like Azeez Ojulari, you see the impact that he has. You see the type of player that he is when you watch the games. Thing is, he's not all that available. 65 tackles in his career, 11 tackles for loss, 13 and a half sacks. 13 and a half sacks in 27 games, 20 QB hits, and 66 QB pressures. It would be nice to see the former second-round pick out there getting some pressure on Dak, and I want to see him out there because the Giants need to evaluate if he is a guy that they should keep on the roster moving forward. Also, an update on Evan Neal. He left the game with an ankle injury, but he just returned to play last week because of another ankle injury. So now he pretty much has 2 bad ankles. And Brian Daboll said he is going to be week to week, which tells me he's not going to play this Sunday, which means it is next man up, and it is most likely going to be Tyre Phillips at that right tackle position. He's already filled in twice in the starting spot for Evan Neal this year. Then obviously he finished the game last week when Neal left midway. He's allowed 0 sacks, but 9 QB pressures. He's a solid backup, but at the end of the day, he's not anyone that's going to move mountains for this football team. You look at the full injury report for both squads here as the Giants are matching up in this NFC East rivalry. So the Giants, they're looking a little bit more healthy than they have in the past, and that's always an encouraging sign, but I do not expect for Adoree Jackson to play. Sean Harlow, he could play. Deion Jackson did not participate in practice. Dexter Lawrence did not participate, but that's just a veteran rest day. Evan Neal did not participate. Don't expect him to play. While Paris Campbell, Ja'Shawn Corbin, Azeez Ojulari, and Andrew Thomas were limited, and then Dane Belton and Justin Pugh were back. I don't expect Adoree Jackson to play. Don't expect Evan Neal to play. But honestly, everybody outside of that, and Sean Harlow and Deion Jackson, I think, could play. See, Marquise Bell was limited for the Cowboys. Tyler Biotic was a full participant. Jaron Kearse, full participant. Osa Odighi. Zua was limited, and the two guys that did not participate are the veteran offensive tackle Tyron Smith and the speedy return man that's getting involved on offense a little bit more, Kavontae Turpin. So both teams dealing with some injuries, but looks like they're for the most part going to be healthy outside of the Giants quarterback position. I know it's Dallas week, and I get a little bit of a different beat inside my chest when I get to play the Dallas Cowboys. I absolutely hate them. I live in Dallas, and I work with a whole bunch of Cowboys fans, and they've been talking a whole bunch of smack. If you hate the Cowboys like I hate the Cowboys, let's just get F Dallas down in the comments. As always, you can follow me over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting about the G-Men all day, every day. Stay in the loop on Giants news and rumors on Twitter. Give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_.